Hello again, YouTube. I have been thinking of going back to the very beginning. Let's talk about that. So what do I mean about going back to the beginning? Well, I do believe the very first video I uploaded was called Aluminium Fun Times, which was over a year ago now, so I had my year anniversary back in February, but let's double check that quickly. So yes, my very first video was called Aluminium Fun Times. It was before I even started to differentiate between, say, my life and my work videos. I'll probably put in a little clip of me talking, or a little clip of that video while I'm talking at the moment, so you know which video I'm talking about, and I'll probably put a link in the video description down below, or a clickable one if YouTube will let me, because for some reason they've been sticking them about 30 seconds before I actually put them on the video. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking of going back to doing some more aluminium pieces. I mean, I am really enjoying what I'm doing at the moment, but I still think that there's a lot of potential with my aluminium forming. For instance, grab a prop. This has been sitting on my, well, old TV. I don't use it, it's more of a shelf at the moment, for probably the last year, 2 years. It was the very first bowl I made, and now it's actually got a few things in there at the moment which I will take out. We have a couple of necklaces which I will also get back to, but I'm trying to hurry up here because I know I'm just going to babble on for like 15 minutes. And we have some bow ties that I made, which isn't interesting. So, aluminium bowls. This one I believe is a bit smaller. This was my very first attempt at doing things or making something fairly semi-useful from my aluminium forms. I actually polished the outside and left the inside the dull grey it went, and yeah, I polished up the outside because it got a really interesting texture in some places and then some really smooth parts, so it really brought out the texture. But yeah, this one's a little bit smaller than the one in that first video I ever uploaded, and I really like these. I really love, like I say, the wrinkles, the folds that happen in there, just the movement of these pieces. It looks so fluid. The only problem I'm having with these is I haven't put them up on my Etsy yet, because they're more of an ornamental bowl rather than a usable bowl. Because the bottoms, I don't know if you can see that, is not flat, it tends to roll around a little bit, so if we put it down or something, do you see it just sort of tips around, and because there's not a dedicated flat surface, I mean, you can still put things in there. Obviously I've had the bits I've had in there, so say like a couple of little bits, just pop them in, you know, it still works as a bowl functionally. But it is more of a ornamental bowl, let's say. And I'll probably put up some pictures as well while I'm talking, because I have taken some pictures of the bigger ones. You might have seen them before, the reflection things on my portfolio as well, actually, which I haven't updated in ages, which I really should get around. So yeah, I'm not sure whether these things are something you guys would like me to start putting online. Say, because it is an ornament, more of an ornamental bowl than a usable bowl. Can't even put them upside down. I mean, maybe it's just more of an ornament shape. I kind of like, I don't know why, but I just love the bowl shape of this. Like, I just like to hold it, I like to feel it. It's just very tactile. Again, along with my final pieces at uni, the red aluminium shapes, like the collar and that, I had some bits that I didn't get around to making, and I had those on my table, and I was encouraging people just to pick them up and touch them and feel them, because I don't know if it's just me, but I really like to feel something. For instance, if I go clothes shopping, I tend not to buy clothes if I feel it and it just feels like, I can like the look of a t-shirt, but if you go up and feel it and it feels kind of really just, I have problems with like really plasticky materials or really scratchy wool. Like this jumper's quite soft. I couldn't go for the really scratchy wool. It just irritates me. I really dislike the feel of sugar paper. It used to make me feel sick when you rub it sick when you were rubbing sugar paper and chalks on sugar paper. That used to make me feel really, really sick. But this, yeah, I just love the feel of it. I'm also thinking of maybe doing more tie pins. The only problem with that is at the moment I don't have the equipment to make these. I really need, like, is it called a Lazy Susan or a Lazy Jane, or I basically need a turntable so I can spin these around while I heat them. I won't go into too much detail because it'll just be boring. And I don't want to give away my secrets. But I really need to be able to spin these, and I can't at the moment. So I wouldn't be able to make many more at the moment. But yeah, the tie pins also, I think I need to get proper clips for, because although they work with just the slide, I feel like when I was wearing one for my sister's wedding, if you knock it, it does tend to sort of shift itself a little bit rather than sort of just nudge. I mean, that is good in a way, so you don't end up ripping your ties or your shirts or anything. But I feel like that extra grip from a proper clip might be better. So I'd have to order some of those in and see about doing that, or making them myself. Although if I make them myself, I think it would cost far too much, whereas if I order them in, I don't know how I feel about that, because I like to make everything myself. Although because it's only the back, the functional piece, it's not so bad. But again, whether silver and aluminium tie clips would be something you guys would like, let me know. Again, with like the bowls, let me know. What else was I talking about? Necklaces. So I'll put my bowl back. So necklaces, or just chains in general, because I kind of started off my journey making lots of chainmail. I'm currently making a chainmail shirt, you might have seen. I'm not very far into it, I've only literally covered the shoulders. I've got about 3 inches all the way around my neck, and the top of the shoulders are done. I have a few chainmail bracelets on my Etsy again, but I've always been interested in chain. Again, it's sort of to do with armour. And at one point, I got into making some necklaces. For instance, this one. It's probably a bit hard to see this. I'll try and take some pictures of it. I melted the ends to make the clasp, and it does kind of work, but this is why this also hasn't been for sale, because sometimes it twists around and undoes itself just like that. Like, I didn't even really put any effort into it, so I need to sort this catch out. Not only that, this one's a little short for what I was liking. I mean, it does obviously work, so it goes around my neck, so it's going to go around most people's. But I was making a longer one, so that I could sort things out. So, for instance, I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit longer. It's like 2 inches longer. But this used up quite a lot of silver and quite a lot of time. Let me just double check to see if I can find the things for you. So quickly found out rough times I've written down. This has taken roughly 12 meters of wire to get to this stage. It's also taken at least 6 hours to make, probably more like 7, 8. And so if you watched my video on how I price something up, yeah, that's quite expensive. You're looking at about, I'd say about £80 roughly, just for the making of the chain. That's without even making the ends, soldering the ends, cleaning it all up. Each piece would probably be looking at roughly £200. And although it is all handmade, the chain is it's very well made. That blowing my own horn there. It is all handmade. It does take a long time to make the chain, obviously, and I feel like that is something that's worth the time when something is handmade. And to me, it's something just so... The way I make it, you basically weave one very long strand of wire through, so there's no actual like rings in here. There's no joins. Well, there are a few joins because I was using sections of 2 meter wire. Because if you use anything longer than that, you're pulling for days. Plus, you're smacking someone in the face over there while it's flipping around. It's just dangerous. So there are a few joins in there. Like I said, there should be about 6. But like I said, there's no rings. It's not like chainmail. This, despite how it might look and how you can wrap it around your fingers. I've literally sort of tied it in a knot now. And that's all from just sort of pieces of wire that you get this flexibility from, and that really amazes me, and I just really love the way this one looks. And so I don't know whether to go into doing something more like this. I mean, everyone while I was at uni was quite amazed by these. It's actually the same technique I used for one of the pieces in my Aston Martin catwalk that I was part of. It made the main form of the arm swells. I don't really know, I don't have a proper name for them, but it made the main body for that, because there is like a hole through the center of it, which you can put like a stiffer rod through and then shape this into shapes, which is something I could look into. But yeah, I don't know whether this is something people would like to see as well. Obviously, it would be a very expensive piece on my site. It would be one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive. Especially after I try and figure out how to exactly do the end. Like, I have a few ideas that I really should test out, I guess, at some point. But again, I don't really have the time at the moment just for experimenting. As I said in my last video, I've been doing quite a few more hours at work just lately. Do you want to see the bowls? Would you like to see the tie pins come and be made more? Because the ones I've made at the moment were just sort of experiments and of me. And it was actually like the one that's on the wall over there at the moment. It was made from aluminium and gilding metal. So I want to make it a bit more precious, because obviously those were mainly really tests for when I could make it with silver. Because sometimes, say like brass and gilding, it can like leave marks on your clothes maybe. So let me know, yeah. Would you like to see those bowls? Would you like to see those tie pins? Would you like to see more sort of fluid just shapes, more ornaments maybe? Maybe like dishes that you then put other stuff on? Would you like to see the necklaces? If I hand weave those and then start selling those, once I probably use like some sort of cast buckle, where I just use like a ring and a bar that goes through and then holds it just by gravity, or if I cast like a T-bar shape, that could be an option. So yeah, just let me know what you think, whether you like those ideas of coming up, whether you think I should be putting them online, what you think may work as well, like if you have any suggestions on what I could be doing with those sort of ideas. Just anything that pops into your head, like I say, leave it down below, or get in contact with me on any number of the social media we now have to be on apparently. Gives me a bit of a headache, all this social media stuff. But like I say, if you have a comment or want to leave a comment on anything I've said, get in contact. All the links hopefully will be in the description down below, and you can play around with all that and the shenanigans there. And I feel like I've rambled again. I wanted to keep this under 10 minutes, but I know it's probably more like 15 by now, or even 20. So I will leave it there. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you next time. Sparks out. I wanted to see if I could do it, and I wanted to do it, and I could try, so I did it. First off, out the bat, it worked first time, funny enough, on my